Unreal Tournament showcases some awesome gameplay on its new Underlands map. Elsword teases a new character that most of us know from another game. ASTA shows off its new racing class, and Warface is a crazy new co-op mission with a high-tech ancient pyramid? What's happening, guys? James Blon here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending May 30th, 2016. Starting out the news this week is an invasion, a Viking invasion happening in Smite in honor of the Smite Master Tournament at DreamHack. This event that you access with a ticket that you buy with gems gets you special quests and Chak and Kali reimagined as Norse gods, not to mention a lot of other Viking-themed items as well. The new trailer you see playing here not only shows off some of the skins and their upgrades, but it's actually pretty funny on top of that. If you want to know more about the Viking invasion event and the new changes to Ratatasker in the most recent patch, Baker Man Bread has all the details for you in the latest God overview video, so be sure to check that out. Seems like this event is going on until July 5th, so you've got plenty of time. Next up, Paragon had its free weekend this past week, ending today, but Epic Games also revealed the game's latest hero that's just as scary as he is badass. Riktor, a cyborg who seems to eat steroids and other heroes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is actually a tank who focuses on crowd control and tenderizes his meals with deadly chains, locking them down and pacifying his victims at the same time. His Whiplash ability, which sounds very painful to begin with, reaches out with an electric chain to pull enemy heroes in, dealing damage along the way. His Shock Therapy ability disrupts enemies by silencing them, and his Skewer ultimate uses a web of chains to damage and stun everyone in his path. Now, I don't know about you, but it seems like Paragon is getting better and better with stuff like this. Riktor is headed to the game on Tuesday the 31st. Also from Epic Games, there's a brand new deathmatch level and new trailer for it in the new Unreal Tournament. This past week they released this new level called the Underlands, designed for 6 to 8 players, that takes place in a hidden outpost that's been lost for thousands of years apparently, and guards the entrance to the massive Underland caverns. On a side note, one of the community members helped name the map, and in doing so, Epic Games is sending him an Unreal Tournament swag bag full of cool stuff for his suggestion. And yeah, I've got to say, that's a pretty cool way of taking community feedback and suggestions and rewarding accordingly. Either way, the new map looks great, and so does the trailer. Head over to epicgames.com to download the alpha and keep up to date in Unreal Tournament. Interesting enough, Elsword is getting a new character this week on June 1st. Even more interesting is this new character is Rose, also known as the female gunner from Dungeon Fighter Online. KOG Games and Neople partnered up on this one to essentially transfer Rose from one universe to the other. And her abilities and features haven't quite been revealed just yet. Up until launch, it's just a teaser, but launch is happening this week, so stay tuned for more details and look forward to having thousands of Rose clones in El Rios. Next up, we see a new story trailer for X Legend's new game, Twin Saga. Kind of a cool backstory we got going on here. We've got a world created and held together with the balance of 2 twin sister goddesses. Now, the world is governed by a calendar of creation, and after tens of thousands of years, it's finally reached its final page, and the world needs a new calendar to govern its people. Unfortunately, the twin goddesses couldn't agree on its terms, so one of the sisters destroys the balance of the world for some reason at its power source, the celestial scale, which in turn crippled the other sister. Now it's up to the mortals to help restore balance. Okay, so maybe it is just a repeat of stories that we've already heard in other MMOs, but at least I summarized it for you. With Aeria Games as the publisher, I definitely don't expect to have to wait real long before having access to this game. Even though it was just announced, I'd say we'd probably see it in open beta before July. But speaking of open beta, ASTA, the War of Tears, and you know the rest, is marking the end of its open beta phase. As I mentioned recently in past recaps, Webzen is rolling out ASTA's first expansion, Myth 1, Wrath of the Berserkers, which introduced some brand new dungeons and zones, but also, as of recently, they announced a new race and class. The new race is the Roxa, who are humanoid creatures, lollies if you will, and they are available for both factions. Roxa's characters will begin in Gate of Dawn, a special intro area for them specifically. And with the new race, we've also got a new class. The Berserker, who is only available to the new race at this point, inflicts damage by swinging around their double weapons, such as swords or axes. Using continuous attacks, they can exploit any gap left by a defeated enemy to mount their next attack. The new expansion will also raise the level cap to 55 and introduce a new area and new dungeon. Head over to the site posted at MMOHuts.com for more details, otherwise the new update goes live tomorrow, May 31st. Meanwhile, in Tera...
Fine, just go.
much sums it up. New outfits available that will make you feel right at home in an early 90s pop music video. Next up, Riders of Icarus is headed into its third and final closed beta test, and I'll have to apologize for not having the link to the raffle for Founders Packs in the description last week. Apparently, Nexon wanted us to wait a little bit longer before we did the raffle, but it is now up, and the giveaway is actually in the description this time. We're planning to do the raffle on June 2nd, the day that closed beta 3 starts up, so be sure to check that out for your chance to win. More good news on top of that, we also have keys to give you guys just to access Closed Beta 3, so keep your eyes peeled at the giveaway section at MMOHuts.com as well. Closed Beta 3 is not going to last that long, and it will be your last chance to access the game without buying a Founders Pack before July. Also starting up around that time frame is Path of Exile's new Prophecy Challenge Leagues. Figured I'd mention that as sort of a reminder. And even if you're not interested in the Prophecy Leagues themselves coming on June 3rd, there are other updates to PoE happening at the same time. You've got new skills, more in-game Labyrinth content, including 2 additional Ascendancy points after completing the 4th section of the Labyrinth, and importantly, for everyone, a major game optimization making the game run on far less RAM. Chris Wilson mentioned to me that the game loads 7 times faster with this new optimization. I'm pretty sure that is welcomed by all. Also launching this past week is Chronicle RuneScape Legends. Now available on Steam, the game has spent the last 6 months in beta and even started as a physical paper prototype 2 years ago. Chronicle's full Steam launch brings with it new ranked sessions, more than 400 cards, support for 7 languages, over 40 Steam achievements, Steam trading cards, and dozens of additional enhancements over the beta. According to the developer, Jagex, and lead designer, the open beta proved to be supremely useful in regards to player feedback, so they were able to make it the best it could be for launch. They are also already working on a development plan to bring the game to iOS and Android platforms next. Now that the game is live as of the 26th, check it out on Steam, see what you think. It's definitely a lot different than you think it is. I promise you that. Next up, Orcs Must Die Unchained revealed a teaser this past week of a new simplified crafting system based on feedback from open beta players. Rather than pushing a multitude of unwieldy random items, they've reduced the drop system down to a much smaller batch of items with more direct conversion principles in crafting. For instance, Hobgoblin contracts will always go towards Guardian crafting, while Donkey Fat is used purely for potions and scrolls, which makes sense. What else do you use Donkey Fat for? The remaining crafting materials being retired will be converted into the closest comparable crafting materials based on rarity, or at a set conversion rate so players don't feel like they're being gypped by the new system. Check out the site post at MMOHuts.com for even more details. Well, it looks like Ark Survival of the Fittest is getting even more popular. The May Survivor League Championship matches take place this Saturday, June 4th, with a bounty of more than $65,000 in prizes to that day's winners. It's going to be broadcast on twitch.tv/survivetheark, and each month, 10 ranked players in each Survivor League will be awarded a cash prize corresponding to their ranked placement, and you can check the rankings at survivetheark.com. The top ranked players in May, as of 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, May 31st, are the ones competing in this championship on June 4th, and then next month, it starts all over again. And finally, for a last bit of news, the new PvE special mission in Warface, Operation Anubis, is in full swing as of recently. Part 1, Carnage in the Canyon, has action coming in thick and fast. It's one of the deadliest operations yet, and in this, of course, you've got multiple objectives and stages to beat in order to complete the mission, and that's only the beginning. The second part is the dry dock, where you've got to go and blow up a submarine while dealing with RPG soldiers and gun turrets. Then it's onward to the final stage of Anubis, where stuff doesn't get any easier. And this is where the Ancient Pyramid comes into play. Your first steps in this thing might actually take you by surprise a little bit because it's more modern than you might have expected. It's filled with fancy tech that you've got to destroy, of course, not to mention cyborgs. Lots of cyborgs. It's kind of like a huge mashup of all of the co-op maps combined at this point. And as you can tell, the new trailer you see playing here gives you a nice overview of all of it together, so check it out at the site posted at MMOHuts.com and learn more about each part of Operation Anubis at warface.com. Anyway guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Like always, if you're looking for more information regarding the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below or head over to MMOHuts.com for all the latest and greatest gaming news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.